A year ago, I posted this photo of Marianne on her 105th birthday. She died a few days short of 106. I drove an hour to the town of Snoqualmie for her funeral at this church. It was wonderful to see how well attended it was. Marianne and her husband bought their farm here more than 50 years ago and raised 3 daughters. Mount Si overlooks the town. That's the first mountain I ever climbed when I moved here to Washington State. I used to work for one of Marianne's 3 daughters, one of the women in this photo. People had a chance to share their stories. Marianne was born of immigrant parents in 1918 in a small farming town outside Spokane. We had some things in common that way. She worked as a nanny while she was learning to become an accountant. She moved to Seattle with 3 sisters and 1 brother, and they all shared an apartment on Queen Anne Hill. She met her husband-to-be at a dance hall there. Eventually, they moved out of the city to the town of Snoqualmie and bought a 50-acre farm. She got a chance to use all of her farm skills again. Horses and cows and chickens. Marianne outlived her husband by about 20 years, but she kept playing her violin and her piano. They had great parties at the farm, especially Easter when they would have the egg roll. It's an hour-and-a-half drive to Ellensburg to the cemetery. You go from the green side of the Cascade Mountains through Snoqualmie Pass until you get to the other side, Kittitas Valley. She lived the life of a traditional woman, and she had no complaints about it. She was always happy. The mountains to the left, that's where my land burned. Marianne's husband had built a cabin up the road on the same area, and it burned during that same fire. I had to be careful never to mention to her that it was gone. But of course, she knows now. It was perfect weather for a ceremony. And at the very end, everyone gathered closer and sang Happy Trails. Happy trails to you until we meet again. I took my time going back to Seattle and thinking about how she had a complete life, a happy one. I hope all of you out there watching this are also enjoying the trail.